This is from Tracy. I have two couples who get stuck in content/impasse with another party. Mother-in-law in one case and an organization in another. In each case, I've tried to treat the third party as content to get back to what happens between the couple. But wow, these competing loyalties feel super sticky to at least one partner.
Help. Yeah, competing loyalties, competing attachments in my mind.
Yeah.
And so competing attachments, we can't relegate to content. Competing attachments are sticky. They're a matter of the heart. We can't view it as content that we in EFT endeavor to contain while we work on process. Competing attachments are somewhere in the middle, closer to process because of the affiliation with this third party. So mother-in-law, organization, in a blended family situation, stepchildren,
Right.
Where the biological parent of those children is caught often between meeting the needs of the children, the competing attachments of the children with their partner,
Right.
who's not the biological parent of those same kids.
Yeah.
So competing attachments become really important. And I would encourage Tracy to wrap them in the couple's cycle. The felt sense for the partner who doesn't have that same particular competing attachment or competing loyalty is my partner's turning their back on me. They're prioritizing someone or something over me, and I feel fill in the blank. And when I feel betrayed, abandoned, unimportant, not mattering, I turn up the heat. Or when I feel inadequate, when I feel like a failure, when I feel like I'm not enough, I shut down. So use the content of the competing loyalty to help clarify what happens in the couple cycle. If we're not able to address that competing attachment, when your clients feel you wrapping it in their cycle and you're addressing it through the lens of this cycle, then it will settle them. They feel like, okay, we're working towards understanding. We're working towards revision. We're not problem solving it. There's no problem solving. There's no way to compromise on a competing attachment. It's just too potent in the heart, but we're working to understand it and come together on it. So wrap it in their cycle. Use it to evoke their primary emotion, the fear that comes alive when, say, a partner turns to their mother-in-law. Who knows maybe what the needs of the mother-in-law are, the person is. And then an organization. It's interesting when potential for the other partner to say, it's just an organization. It's not a person. It's not a family member. Don't invest so much time.
Right.
But of course, people get attached to affinity groups and organizations and feel very bonded and feel very dedicated. And there's something very important from an attachment perspective to that organization. And the clinician would want to help to make space for all of that meaning. What we want to help the couple do is not have the competing attachments come between them and disconnect them. Through the course of de-escalation and then into stage 2, they can hold a little bit of their own meaning in one hand and hold a little of their partner's meaning or experience in the other hand about this competing attachment, whatever it might be.
Okay. Like, to use myself as an example, let's say that my partner is turning to his mom for something. Maybe his mom needs the extra help. And so I feel afraid and threatened as a partner because he's turning to his mom too much in my mind. And then he feels judged and like he can never be enough for anyone, not his mom and not me. What are you trying to help me and my partner hold?
I'm trying to help you hold that your partner's in a big bind.
Okay.
And he has a dilemma because he turns to his mother to care for her in whatever way he needs to. And that leaves you feeling exposed. That leaves you feeling less than. That leaves you feeling uncared for. And what we want to do is make space for each partner's emotion when we talk about the bind of this competing attachment.
Okay.
Because I bet you have a part that says, I want him to care for his mom. That's important, but not at my expense.
Right.
And that's the bind for you. Like, yeah, it's good. He's a good person who loves his mom and is able to care for his mom. I'm grateful. But wow, bad timing, dude.
Yeah.
Not then. not this much. Not this frequently. Not as a result. It feels like you turn to her to avoid me.
I see.
And that's what's so painful to me is I feel like you go to that safe haven or that exit.
So somehow, as the partner who feels my husband's back to me, I have to be able to begin to understand from his perspective, he's in a terrible bind.
Yeah, the clinician would want to help you hold what happens for you when you feel less alone, because at least the clinician is getting your experience. Your partner can't get it in yet, just like you can't hold your partner's experience yet. But through the de-escalation process, you feel like the clinician is holding it for you and for your partner. And over time, it'll open up bandwidth inside for you to take in your partner's experience and eventually be able to empathize
with that bind. Yeah.
We're in the
Okay.
business of making space for their experience. I want to know the emotion. I want to know the fear. I want to know what's driving the behavior of maybe turning towards his mom perceivably too frequently.
Yeah.
But who am I to say you shouldn't?
Yeah.
I just,
You don't
ah,
weigh in.
right.
Totally. Even
Yeah.
if it's tempting in a particular case.
Right.
For more hot tips on emotionally focused therapy, go to theeftcafe.com and sign up for our newsletter where you will receive short little clips like the one you just watched.